Hey, babes, if I asked you to think about your last three relationships, or maybe it's your last three situationships, because I know, labels, honey. If I asked you to think about those last three connections, let's go with connections, and to draw a line between them to show similarities, what would those similarities be? And I'm not talking about things like height, build, or hobbies. I'm talking about the pattern. Was there a wall that you always ran into in these three relationships? Were they almost relationships? Like it seemed to be good, but we can never get it together. We could never really connect. Or maybe there was a whole lot of potential in each one of those relationships, but just not a lot of follow through. Maybe they were amazing in theory, but just not quite there in reality. If you're nodding right now, I need you to hear me clearly. That is not bad luck. Okay, you don't have bad luck in relationships. Some of y'all been telling yourselves that. You're also not just meeting the wrong people. Okay, it's not just that either. It is also not that the universe is just playing in your face. What it is, sis, is a pattern, and patterns have sources. And today we're going to find out the source of yours. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Tiff, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses, because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Dr. Tiff, and you're listening to Fix Your Relationships podcast. And before some of y'all get defensive, okay, and start telling me, Dr. Tiff, I don't have no type, okay? All of my exes were different. There is no connective tissue. Okay, cool. Maybe they had different names, different faces, different jobs, different signs, different love language. I will give you that. But I'm not talking about what they looked like. I'm talking about how they showed up for you in relationships, because emotionally unavailable people do not come in the same packaging. Sometimes they show up as really charismatic and spontaneous until it's time to be consistent. Sometimes they show up as really, really affectionate until you start asking where this thing is going. Then they start pulling away. Sometimes they show up as just great at saying all the right things and absolutely terrible at following through with any of it. Sometimes they come in strong, just showing out in the beginning, love bombing you, and then they're nowhere to be found when intimacy starts to require actual maturity. And sometimes, ladies, they show up as a project in so much pain, but with so much potential. And you're really feeling that if they would just heal, if they would get it together, this could be something really special. And because you are who you are, you don't just date them, you take them on. You start thinking, if I love them right, if I stay patient enough, if I support them through this season, then maybe they'll become the person that I already see in my head. Babes, that is not a relationship. That's a renovation project. And the common thread across all these totally different people is they were not fully available to you, and something in you kept reaching for them anyway. And here's the thing, you do not keep choosing unavailable people because you enjoy suffering, okay? You did not wake up and say, Lord, send me another person who can half love me and ruin my peace. You did not say that. You choose them because something about their energy feels familiar. Not familiar like it's safe or peaceful or easy, familiar like what you first learned love was. For a lot of my highly driven women, highly successful women, love growing up felt inconsistent, conditional, earned, unstable, tied to how much you performed, how useful you were, how well you held things together. So your brain learned this is what love should feel like. The longing, the reaching, the almost, I can get it if I just do more. Okay. So when you meet someone who is emotionally present, available, steady, ready to commit, clear about what they want and wanting you, it can feel a little off. It might feel a little too easy, too calm. Some of y'all have even said it feels boring, okay? And makes you a little suspicious. Like, why is he so nice? Why is this going so well? Why don't we argue? You get very suspicious when things go well. But when you meet somebody who is hot one day and cold the next, amazing in some moments and absent in the ones that actually matter, your whole body starts to light up and you start to call that chemistry. A lot of times that is not chemistry. That is familiarity. And the familiar will fool you every single time if you haven't done the work to know what peace and love actually feels like. Some of us are not just choosing unavailable people. Some of us are choosing unavailable people because they're unavailable. Stay with me now. Do not turn off the podcast. I know I'm getting a little too close to home for some of y'all, okay? Some of y'all are choosing unavailable partners because unavailability gives you something full availability doesn't. It gives you something to work towards. And for highly driven women, okay, the successful ones, you know who you are. The woman who gets results, solves problems, finishes what she starts, closes the loop, fills in the gap. That challenge can feel like purpose. When someone is fully available, emotionally steady, and just there, a part of you doesn't know what to do with that because you've spent so much of your life believing love is something you earn, something that you have to prove, you work for, and finally unlock. So when somebody just shows up with love, something in you gets suspicious. This is too easy. What am I missing? Something in the milk ain't clean. But give you someone emotionally confusing and distant and inconsistent, almost, but not quite there. And your whole inner achiever wakes up. Now you have a mission. Let me crack the code. Let me be the one who finally gets through. Let me love them into readiness. Let me prove I'm worth showing up for. You think you're chasing them, but a lot of the times you are chasing proof that you can get this emotionally unavailable person to fully commit to you. Then maybe, just maybe, that means you are finally for real deserving of the love that you crave. No, babes. Absolutely not. That is a setup. Nobody on God's green earth is put here to be the final authority of your worth. You were worthy before they texted you back. You were worthy before they committed to you. You were worthy before they had the capacity to recognize what was standing right in front of them. Their inability to recognize gold does not mean you're a wooden nickel. I need to anchor this in scripture because this is where we stop talking about patterns and start talking about what God actually says about your heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Above all else, not after you make sure everybody else is okay, not once they finally commit to you, not once you've proven you're worth it. Above all else. And I need you to hear what guard means in this context. Guarding your heart is not about being cold. It's not about shutting people out. It's not about being so protective that nothing and no one can get through. It means becoming wise about where and how you spend your energy. It means having the discernment to ask, is this person consistent enough to be trusted with more of me? Or am I building something with someone who keeps showing me they can only meet me halfway? And then this is the part that requires real courage, ladies, believing the answer, even when it hurts, even when everything in you wants to try one more time, because here's what I need you to know. What God has for you is not another project. You won't have to assemble it. You won't have to emotionally renovate it before you can live with it. A healthy partner is not a fixer-upper, babes. They come pre-assembled because God's been working on them just like he's working on you. Guarding your heart means protecting your standards, not just your feelings. And those two things are not the same. Your feelings can adjust. Your standards should never. Hey, babes, I want to ask you something real quick. You're talented, right? You're driven. You show up and you deliver every single time. But is anybody showing up like that for you, sis? Or are you always the one giving more, carrying more, fixing more? Maybe you're in a relationship right now where something feels, off, like roommates, like the connection you've been longing for is just right there, but you don't know how to go about getting it. Or maybe you just quietly sworn the whole thing off because, honey, you're tired. Sis, I see you, and I made something just for you. This May, I'm hosting More Love, Less Hustle. It's my free live working lunch series where we're going to get to the bottom of why you keep working so hard for love, what it's costing you, and how to build your own personal stop-start strategy so you can stop settling for crumbs and start showing up as the one. It's only an hour, sis. It's free, and we've got multiple dates throughout the month of May. And listen, this room won't be the same without you in it. The conversation we're about to have, it's been waiting on you, sis. So come get your seat at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/more love, less hustle. That's the direct link, but it's also in the show notes. I'll see you there, babes. Now let's get back to the show. All right, babes, pens out, journals out. Let's get down to writing these journal questions for the week. And if you're in your car, I say this every week, don't be trying to write and drive. Either pull over or come back to this later. This is the work. I encourage you to do the work in real time. Let's do it together. But certainly if you're unable to, for whatever reason, just please do come back. I don't want you just nodding at this and to keep it moving. I want us to write this down and get the work done. All right. Question number 1. Think about the last person you were really, really drawn to, the one who had you checking your phone, replaying conversations, trying to decode everything that they said and what they didn't say. Were they actually available? Not just, were they with someone else, okay? But were they actually present with you mentally, emotionally? And if they weren't, what were you telling yourself about why it was going to be different this time? Okay. I need you to write down the real story you told yourself, not the polished one, not the one you tell everybody else, the honest one. Think about the last person you're really drawn to and ask yourself, were they actually available? And if they weren't, what you were telling yourself about why it was going to be different this time. Okay. Go ahead and write that down. Question number 2, growing up, did love feel consistent, safe, and freely given? Did love feel consistent, safe, and freely given when you were growing up? Or did it feel like something you had to earn, keep, or perform? Okay? Because your answer to that question is still showing up in how you date, how you attach, how you interpret chemistry, not as a punishment, but as a pattern. Write about what love felt like in your earliest relationships for me. And then when you're ready, let's go to number 3. What does emotionally available love actually look like to you? What does emotionally available love actually look like to you? Can you picture it? And when you do picture it, what does it feel like? Does it feel exciting? Or does it feel like kind of flat or boring? Does it feel, or do you get a little suspicious? Do you get a little suspicious about it? Are you a little guarded when you start to see emotionally unavailable attention coming your way? If it feels flat, that does not mean available is boring. I need to say that out loud. It means your system, your nervous system, your brain has not yet learned to recognize peace as love. That is the work. And babe, it is absolutely the work that is worth doing. Now, here's the one small shift. You guys know I do this with you every week. I want you to take one thing with you that you can do in the next 7 days, okay? And you can absolutely do this. I make this super small, very petite, so that you can absolutely crush it. This is your goal for the week. The next time you feel that pull, that intense, magnetic, I cannot stop thinking about this person kind of energy, okay? I need you to pause. I need you to pause, not forever, just long enough to ask yourself one question. Is this chemistry or is this just what I'm used to? Is this chemistry or is it just what I'm used to? Just ask yourself that. You don't have to have the answer the first time you ask it either. You just have to stop treating every strong feeling like a green light, because the love you deserve is not a mystery. It is not a scavenger hunt. It is not a prize at the end of an emotional obstacle course. The love you deserve is available. It is clear. It is consistent, and it does not require you to perform, prove, or shrink. And babe, if what I'm saying to you here today is hitting so close to home that you can't stand it, if you recognize your own pattern in what we just described, I need you to come sit with me in More Love, Less Hustle, because knowing the pattern is not the same as breaking it. Awareness is the beginning, but you need more than awareness to actually make different choices. In More Love, Less Hustle, this is my free live working lunch series, and we are doing it throughout the month of May. This is the work that we do. For 1 hour, we trace where these patterns come from. We identify what your nervous system has confused for love, and we build your personal stop-start strategy so you can finally start choosing differently from the inside out. If you are tired of these patterns over and over again, I need your face in that room. Come, let me coach you through this live, babes. Registration is free. Just go to becometheone.myflowdesk.com/more love less hustle. That's becometheone.myflowdesk.com/more love less hustle. The link is right there in the show notes. If you would like to register, you are not unlucky in love, babes. You just have patterns, and patterns can change. Now, before I let you go, I want to remind you of something. And I kind of just said it, okay? I'm just repeating myself at this point. You are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not naive. You're not desperate. You're not the woman who doesn't know better. You actually are a woman whose love was shaped by experiences that taught her something specific about what love requires. And you've been living from that lesson ever since. But hear this, okay? The fact that it's a pattern means that it's not permanent. That's the good news. It's not permanent. Patterns are learned, which means they can be unlearned, which means you are not stuck here. You are not condemned to keep choosing the almost, the inconsistent, the so much potential and not enough follow through. That is not your destiny. You were not created to be the woman who loves the hardest and gets loved the least in return. You were created for mutual love, full, available love, love that does not require you to carry more than your fair share, prove your worth, or shrink so somebody else feels more comfortable. That kind of love is available to you. But you have to be willing to stop calling familiar chemistry. You have to be willing to let peace feel like love. You have to be willing to believe that emotionally available is not boring. It's what you've been asking God for this whole time. So you got to stop running from it, babes, and come let me help you build toward it. More Love, Less Hustle is free. It's live. It's happening throughout the month of May. The link is in the show notes. becometheone.myflowdesk.com/more love less hustle. I want and need to see you there. Thank you so much for listening to Fix Your Relationships podcast. I'll see you right back here next week and at More Love, Less Hustle, I hope. Talk to you soon. Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.